Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Zelmont and I'll be your host. This is just kind of a podcast series where I disclose stories of myself and lessons learned. And just different sorts of me ranting about various topics. If you're enjoying the comment, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment and let me know what you think. And please hit that subscribe. It's been over a month since I got my last subscriber, and it'd be nice just to see that go up a little bit. Anyways, today I kind of went back and forth about what to talk about. Originally, the original idea and what I've gone back to is my one big conspiracy thing. Just to show, like, this is where I feel I'm kind of out there, and really, as I'm gonna speak out about, like, I don't think I'm that far out on. I think, like, there is reason for me to feel this way, and that is about China. China is a country that terrifies me. I think in my life, before the end of my life, I will see China come out and be the world's next Nazi Germany. And I really do believe that. I've honestly been saying for 20 years, for 20 years, that I'm looking at China coming out. Like, and right now, if I'm honest, right now is about the time that I really really thinking that they should be coming out, because the big backer for this thought is, well, like, I know my history. I know what communist regimes are like. I know specifically what the Communist Party of China is like. And, you know, one of the things that happened was, you know, they used to have that law about you're only allowed to have one child, and they got rid of that law. And now when they did, the world cheered, and everybody's, oh, it's a great human rights victory, which, okay, it is, agreed. The problem with that is, us even congratulating China for that, we're not looking at it from China's point of view. Why? Like, they literally don't care about human rights. Like, human rights does not compute for them. It literally is irrelevant to their entire way of thinking. And you can look at their response to COVID specifically, like right now. Like, they do not and never have cared about human rights. Human rights is a non-issue to them. So given that they've proven, even today, you know, like, look at what China does today. They've proven that they really don't care about human rights. Human rights isn't the issue for them. So if human rights isn't the issue, and clearly it's not. Like I say, like for us it is, and we like to project our own values and whatnot onto others to try to understand them. But like I say, in this circumstance, China's proven that they do not have the same value. This value is while it's inherent to us, it is not inherent to the Communist Party of China. So that said, you need to be able to put yourself in that shoes. Leave your baggage about human rights at the door. Okay, that has nothing to do with this. So if that has nothing to do with it, why would the Communist Party of China get rid of that law? What would be the strategic use and value in firing up your population, especially when you're already at kind of what many would view as an unsustainable population for the landmass that you occupy? And this is where I said, like, 20 years ago, that I am actually scared of China. Like, I'm scared of them coming out about 20 years after that draconian law is gone, with a massive army, and, well, I guess it would probably be more like 40. So, like, yeah, anytime over like the next 20 years, I see China coming out with a massive frickin' army. And in all actuality, if you believe some of the propaganda put out there, there is that Chinese scientist that defected from China there that was on Tucker Carlson a couple times. And the one time she outright said, yeah, no, she thinks the Communist Party did this on purpose. That she thinks that this was an attack on the world. And it fits. You know what I mean? But like I say, this is where I do call this my conspiracy for my conspiracy theory for a reason, because like essentially I am just working off of circumstantial evidence. I don't have any hard facts. I've never read a document that the Chinese the leaders of the Chinese Party outright said they're building an army. You know, like no. So this is circumstantial, which is what makes it a conspiracy theory in my mind. But like I say, like in this is my out there. This is the only one that I have, and even from that, like I do recognize that I'm operating off of a circumstantial basis, and therefore, like, but history tells me I'm right. You know what I mean? Like, this is what they do. Of course they're going to do it. There's no other purpose in this. If they don't care about human rights, if that's not and this is something that's going to push them to a point that they really honestly can't maintain, the only option is to spread your borders and expand your territory, to expand your the area that your people can occupy. Right? That's your only option. It's the only purpose in that, and I think it's foolhardy to not recognize that. I don't understand how. Well, actually, I do. It's corruption, really. But like, I hate that. This is that. It's my conspiracy. It's my conspiracy, and I can follow it down a couple of rabbit holes, but. Because it is. Why don't some of our why are so many of our politicians completely ignoring China? Why does Hollywood and the entire media establishment kowtow to China? Why am I afraid that I can have this video demonetized? Well, even though I'm not monetized to begin with, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I could get this video could be tagged. I could be forced to take this down, or its reach could be limited. It probably will be shadow banned to some extent. Because China, like, there's so many rabbit holes to go down, and like, it's, I don't know, man. Like, how can you not, like, this is my one conspiracy, and I don't know, the logic is there. Yes, it's all circumstantial, but I don't know, it's, how can it not be? You know what I mean? Like, and it's so obvious, so blatant, so in your face, but it's all circumstantial, right? But yeah, you can follow it down, right? Like, and you can follow money, and you can, this is the China one is one that it does that. You could totally do that whole spider web crazy plot line. You really can, like George Soros and Tides Foundation and oh yeah, Justin Trudeau, Epstein, Biden, Bush, Clinton. Yeah. Well, every one of them. Every one of them. They're all. Oh, that's what makes it a conspiracy, though, right? But I don't know what else to say about it, because, like, yeah, like that's kind of what, you know, and this is my one conspiracy, is the China one, and I do think that I don't know how far it goes, and I don't like, and I tend, other than for me to say, hey, we should look out for China, I think China is going to be the big threat of my lifetime. I don't like to follow the rabbit holes, because they're rabbit holes. And don't get me wrong, yeah, sure, there's circumstantial evidence to support it, but it's exactly that, it's circumstantial. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like to go like, and that's kind of the point of me sharing. Is I'm not a conspiracy nut person. I'm not somebody who will plot all the lines. I tend to go, oh, okay, we're going in the deep end. But no, I do think China itself is legitimate. Just like I agree with the core conspiracy of like Alex Jones, because where it's the whole raw elite pedophile ring and babies, and the core of it I think is true, and the core of it is the elite pedophile ring, and that's Epstein, and that's everybody. Like it, we know it exists. Like it's not even a theory anymore. We know it. It's just we don't know how far it goes. Like, we don't know who all is involved. We know top people from around everywhere is involved. And China is that same deal to me. Like, and it is, because it's, like I say, it's blatantly, it's in the open, it's historical. And like I say, like, they've proven that they don't care about human rights. They prove every day that they don't care about human rights. So if it isn't human rights, why do they do the things that they do? You gotta put yourself in that position, and then when you put yourself in that position, it only leads to one place. Even if that's not where you want to go, it's where you're gonna have to go. You know what I mean? Like, if your area, if your territory is not big enough to sustain your population, your only option is to expand your territory. Like. And because your population, life is cheap to pay the price to expand it. You kill two birds with one stone, essentially. And like I say, like even if you didn't want to, like, there's gonna come a point where you're gonna have to. Like, it's a period. Like, I know people don't like to hear the truth sometimes, but look to your history. What the number one cause? Well, I think it's the number 2 cause of war. Actually, I think the number 1 cause of war is religious differences. I think I could be mistaken in that. These could be the other way around, but the other is a fight over limited resources. Especially when the population is, like I say, is at a high level and they're using up more resources. Yeah, no, they always go to war to get more. So, like, yeah. Like, even if you want to try and be nice about it, like, it's okay, but you're still gonna end up at the same point if you follow the logic along. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, well, you're right, but let's go the other way then. How does that work? Well, it ends up the same place, so... But yeah, that's my big conspiracy. Is it really is the China one, and even there, in general, I don't think about it. I don't follow it along. Other than I do tend to say, just in passing by, at when it matters, like when there's something that triggers China. That I think China's the one we should watch out for, man. They got rid of that draconian law, and they don't care about human rights. There's only one reason a country like China would do something like that. That's to build an army. Like, I don't know. In my opinion, in my view, like maybe I'm wrong. And in all actuality, this is one of those. I hope I am wrong. Like, really, truly, honestly, I hope I am wrong about it. But it is my one, like, hey, let's keep an eye on China. Let's not get too friendly with China, especially China. Like, China steals intellectual property, and like, oh no, man, China's bad. You should not do business with China. I know China does big business and lots of money, but no, you're literally dealing with, well, not literally, figuratively dealing with the devil, in my opinion. You know, I think you're signing over your own sons and daughters for money in the now. I think you think you're going to be able to buy just sacrifice the rest of us and buy your own children's way out, but no, that's not the way it's going to work out. They're going to come for you. They're going to come for yours. Only you're making enemies of the other people you're sacrificing too, so you're going to get it from both ends. Like, don't do that. Don't do that, man. Don't deal with the devil. Don't. It's not worth it. But yeah, otherwise, you know, and it's exactly that. Like, and that's why I'm not into conspiracies. Is I find them interesting. I do when there's factual stuff to it, I will follow it as far as it goes, kind of deal. Like the 5G one, I have a friend, she likes to just share random 5G stuff on Facebook. I don't think she fully believes it. I think she like, I've talked with her and whatnot about it, and I think I feel that she just likes seeing it get people stirred up. But there's nothing I've seen on 5G actually backs up a conspiracy. It uses generic information that we've known since long, like 3 times my generation. You know what I mean? Like 150 years or more. Like, we've known that there are some electromagnetic frequencies that affect biological matter, but they are specific electromagnetic frequencies. It isn't the whole. It isn't every electromagnetic frequency. If every like, you know, no, like, that's not the way it works. It's some do, some just have no effect. They just are, you know, they have no effect on that, right? So, and that's what they use, is this generic that some will, okay, but you're not providing any evidence that the 5G electromagnetic frequency is doing that. For all we like, for all the evidence, it's literally no different than the 3G. It's just at a higher. It's just you can transmit more. It's a denser, more narrow bandwidth. But yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I haven't seen anything. So, like, it's just a rabbit hole to go down, right? It's just or the true anti-vaxxers. I don't agree with the general anti-vaxxer line. On the COVID one, I will keep my own opinion to myself. Apparently, depending on, for me to be honest about it, I think I definitely would be flagged. It's sad that freedom of speech doesn't matter to tech. It really does. That you can't give an honest opinion. That you're gonna get dinged. Just because of nuance, right? Like, something I could say about it could be a little wrong because I interpreted it wrong, but I am giving my honest opinion, and all of a sudden I'm dinged, right? Like, no, man, no. I understand disinformation. I understand when a person is, like, purposely putting out lies and stopping that. But when people are just being honest, no, man, freedom of speech, I should be allowed to say and think what I want. It's my voice, it's my mind. And I should be allowed to share that. If people want to listen to it, they can listen to it. And, you know, I don't know. I really am a free speech absolutist for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, we have laws against anything beyond that. You know, we have conspiracy laws, right? Like, when you're conspiring with people to commit something, like, that is where the line of speech is drawn to me, and that's not speech. That's about you are preparing, you are actually working towards doing something bad. You know, it's just you're stopped before you do it, but the intent to do it was already there. That is where I draw the line. Outside of that, no, man, people should be allowed to say what they want. You know what I mean? Like, when you stop it, you push bad ideas underground. where they fester. That's where your flat earthers and all of the big, actual crazy conspiracy nut people, that's where they hide. You don't let them talk. So they go underground, and then other people hear them through the underground, and because they're being silenced, is actually giving their side credence. Like, you don't understand. The more you cram down, the more it works against you. You can't do it that way. All of history tells us that. Every great fictional saga tells us that. You know, like, can't, like, let freedom of speech go, even with the crazy people. Especially with the crazy people. Crazy people will hang themselves. That's what Libs of TikTok is all about, ain't it? Crazy people will hang themselves. You don't let them talk, man. Go ahead. Hang yourself. And that's what I hope for Twitter from Elon Musk. That said, I personally don't actually think Elon Musk is the hero that everybody else thinks he is. I really don't. I think this right now is a victory for free speech. Don't get me wrong. But I don't fully trust anyone. And I think that's the best way to be. I think that's how you keep people in check. Right? Like, even though I think this here is that he's going to do is good, because it's in, and it's one of those, I trust people to do what's in their own interest. And right now it's in Elon Musk's own interest to do exactly what he said he's going to do. Why? Because that's going to get Twitter to blow up. That's the only way to get Twitter to expand at this point. Twitter's already hit its critical mass that, okay, it's gonna to completely level off now. In fact, it's been cratering. The only way to get an influx back in again is to create extreme trust in it. You know what I mean? You gotta bring in that transparency and whatnot to bring trust in it, to bring people like me and into it to bring the numbers up. So like I say, I do think this is a victory, but I think it's in a victory because it's in his own interest to do so. Now, in, say, 5 years from now, when everybody and their dog is on Twitter because everybody and their dog has come to trust Twitter, and it's the new town square, what kind of power does that really give? And for me personally, this connects in, this actually does connect into my conspiracy, so let that be what it is. But yeah. Like, we'll see what happens, man. You know? But for now, yes, I think it is a victory. For now, it is what it is, because I trust a person to do what's in their own interest. And it's in Musk's own interest to do what he says he's going to do. But yeah, I don't know. Let people talk, right? Because, like, you know, even me here, I'm sure. Well, I don't know. Have I hung myself? I've definitely shown that I do have my own. Like I say, I'm telling you, China is my conspiracy. I actively have to stop myself from going down rabbit holes, and I do. I'll start to go, and I'm like, that's kind of a rabbit hole. Like, yeah, there's circumstantial evidence to support it, but but I don't know, I think that's the way to recognize it, right? And that's when you back off, is when you're like, is there anything? No, there's nothing. Okay, well, I'm gonna back off then, right? And yeah, let people talk, man. Let them, they'll hang themselves. If they're actually out there, if they're actually doing wrong, they'll tell you, man. If you just let them, they'll tell you. And like I say, that's literally what Libs of TikTok is. And people that are blowing it out of proportion, hey, man, you're disclosing your own hand. You're saying that you are one of those awful people. The fact that you're going to conflate these awful people who are saying in their own words that they're awful people, the fact that you're supporting those awful people and conflating those awful people with, say, like the entire LGBTQ community tells me you're one of them awful people, because I don't think the whole community is awful like that. I don't. But I do think that the ones that are saying they're awful are awful. Because why? Because they're freaking telling me they're awful in their own words. You know, like for as much as your leftist media wants to try and portray Libs of TikTok as framing, no, man, Libs of TikTok isn't framing nothing. They're just posting what these people are saying in their own words. And that's not, and like I say, that's not to conflate it with everybody. I don't know. I think you're a pretty awful person to conflate that with an entire community like that. Yeah, free speech, man. Why not? Why? Like, what is the argument against? Oh, disinformation. Really, disinformation. Well, you know what? Like I say, like, you let good ideas battle bad ideas, and the good ideas win. The only time there becomes a problem there is when you try stopping that by silencing one side. So just get the hell out of the way. Let the crazy people talk. They'll hang themselves. It's like that one documentary I seen on Flat Earthers. In it, they do their own experiment. They come up with this experiment. It's like, you know what? If there really is a curvature to the planet, then if we fire a laser, it's going to go like this. And their own test proved them wrong. And let them do it. Let them talk, man. They'll prove themselves wrong. If they're wrong, they'll prove it. And if they're not, give people the benefit of the doubt, man. If that's what they believe, that's what they believe. If you can prove otherwise, prove them wrong. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all for legitimate fact checkers, but just FYI, when I see something's fact checked, I actually go and look up the fact check, and at least in Facebook's case, most of the time the fact checker is a joke. Like, you go and look up the fact check, and it's like they'll argue a completely separate point than the main point of a post, and then call it fact checked. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, well, you're right, but it's kind of irrelevant. But anyways, I literally did not set a timer this time. I have no idea how long I've been doing this. I know I've been doing this for, at minimum, 15 minutes. So I'm guessing that especially like I say, like when I get, the whole thing with a conspiracy, with a good conspiracy, is that it has that spider web. So it makes your brain go all over, and when your brain does that, it's time is a perceptional thing. So the moment your brain becomes like super active like that, firing off on all synapses, going to all these different lines, time speeds the hell up on you. But I don't know. I'm actually pretty good at judging time, I find. I don't know. It's for like I recognize stuff like that. It's like, okay, this doesn't feel like it's been that long, but I know the way this worked, it sometimes works like that. So I think it is, in fact. So yeah, we'll see. I think I'm probably sitting around the 25-minute mark right now. I think. Well, probably 27-minute. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Next week, I'm actually going to go into kind of a story of the 7 deadly sins. Oh, yeah. Be great. Tune in next week. Bye.
Over here, mate.
Oh, and one more thing. Remember, hit that subscribe. I'll be doing more streaming of me playing on a role-playing server. I'm really enjoying it. Unfortunately, because it's role-playing, I'm not actively talking, so it might be boring for people. I don't know. It's me legitimately playing the game. I'm working on this Wicked Tower, and it's a role-playing server, so I don't know. I'm kind of new to role-playing. I've done some limited D&D, so it's a little But yeah, I don't know. I'm having fun. I'm streaming a lot of that. So yeah, hit that subscribe. Come to watch my streams and see me next week for my next episode going into 7 Deadly Sins. All right. Bye for real this time.
Hey,
Later.
you.